Hello everybody, welcome back to the stream. Good to see you all again, as always. And yeah, we're just going to be continuing Alchemortis development today. I don't really know what we're going to be doing, so I don't know. Maybe we'll do some more wave function collapse. I did work on that a little bit more yesterday. I think I've got it mostly in a good spot. I think there are still a few edge cases that I need to resolve a little bit better. But, you know how it is. We'll figure it out. But in the meantime, Alchemortis is available for wish listing, so go ahead and do that if you're interested. And there is a playtest build of Alchemortis live right now for Patreon members. So if you want access to the playtest right now, you could subscribe to one of the paid Patreon tiers here. So you'll get immediate access to that playtest. But also, if you subscribe to the sponsored tier here, this is like a pre-purchase of the game. So I will send you an Alchemortis Steam key when the game launches. And your name will also be listed in the Alchemortis credits as well. So if those perks sound enticing to you, definitely consider subscribing as a sponsor. And the playtest that I mentioned, it is still technically early, only for Patreon members, but it will be going live for the public tomorrow. So if you'd rather wait, you don't have to pay anything to get access to the playtest. Patreon members just get a week of early access, and then the publicly available playtest will be available for a week as well. So you could go ahead and join the Discord to be notified when that goes live, and you can also leave your feedback on Alchemortis there. And if you want to support me, you can also purchase one of my Udemy courses. These will teach you how to build complete games in the Godot engine. So check those out if you're interested. Appreciate all the support, of course. And yeah, Udemy currently is still how I'm making the majority of my money. I gotta pay the bills and all that stuff, but we're gonna try to turn that around with Alchemortis. We're gonna try to make this a banger game that can end up paying my bills instead. So, before we get into what we're working on, let's say hello to everybody. Hello, Alien, welcome back. It is not going to develop itself, no. Hello, Clickertail. You're telling me all my unfinished games won't just finish themselves without me? Yeah, that's true. Shocking. Hello, Edo Makes Games, welcome back. Snup Bill, thank you for the IDR 10,000 with the message Yummers. Very generous as always. Thank you, and welcome back to the stream. Yummers from Clickertail. Yummers isn't going to develop itself. How would you know? You never gave it a chance. Yeah. Yummers pre-stream is clearly cheating. Hello, Neozoid. Welcome back. Ninja Link, good morning to you. Meep, hello. Wave function collapsed this early in the stream. Oh, goodness. Hello, Sam Studio. Welcome. Hello, Jeremy. Bought your Udemy courses, the component-based design blow my mind. Awesome, glad to hear that. Did you hear that, everybody? Jeremy endorses my Udemy courses, so... Anyway, so let's... yesterday I had drawn a mouse, which did not turn out very good. So I did end up redrawing the mouse, too, after I did my wave function collapse. So here's the new mouse. I think it's much cuter. I think this mouse looks a lot nicer. So it's still not perfect, I don't think, but I think it gets the point across. And yeah, I'm actually noticing I might want to change... Do I want to change the tail color here? I might change the tail color a little bit. Yeah, I think that looks... Yeah, I think that looks fine. Yeah, we'll just call that good. Okay. So we got a new mouse, and this is an enemy faction card. So let's bring up the mouse.tres here. I'm going to call this a field mouse. And let's just give it some abilities here. Give it a turn cooldown of 8. Is enemy is flippable. It's a minion. And what else? Minimum notoriety region, maximum notoriety region will do 0 to 1. And what else? Loot table weight. I don't know what is that used for. Is that used for the reagents? I think so. Anyway, so we've got a mouse. We got to give it an ability now. I was trying to think what abilities it could have. I might just give it swarm and maybe some low damage or something. I also say the courses are good. Very cute. Glad you like it. Ah, A sprite, yes. Turn the mouse into the cursor. Okay. It is a very cute mouse. Glad you like it. Very strong sprite editor. I agree. Delete the bottom right pixel on his face just for my own curiosity. I did try that. It doesn't look right. It doesn't look quite... I mean, maybe it looks okay. Do you like that or no? Maybe that is better. Do you like it with the pixel there or the pixel removed? This is the part of the stream where we spend 5 minutes deciding what to do with a single pixel. Removed, I think either works. Yeah, maybe removed looks alright. I remember trying that and it didn't look right, but I like added is better. To pixel or not to pixel. Yeah, I'll go with the removed. I like the pixel there since mouse and noses are quite pointy in real life. That's what I was thinking too, but... I don't know. Pixel equals mouse, no pixel equals disgusting rat. Okay, I'm gonna keep it the way I had originally drawn it. We'll keep it that way. OMG cute mouse, thank you V, I'm glad you like it. And welcome back to the stream. Hello, hello. Always good to see you. So I think this mouse is gonna be relatively simple. Nope, I don't want to open the PNG in my IDE, thank you very much. I'm going to do ability builder.swarm, and then we'll just do something like damage 1. Very simple, very chic, very elegant. Bean adjacent creature and V is back. Hide it. Yeah, that's true. What am I doing? Board configuration editor. Okay, so let's just do this. Apply dimensions. Oh, there was a mouse. Look at the mouse. Very cute. Let's go to notoriety region 1. I'm mostly curious to see if the wine is going to start targeting that mouse now. He's very cute. I do like him. So I had a bug yesterday too that I noticed. This mace was never being placed on the board, and I won't go into all the details of how that was broken, but I did end up writing a bunch of tooling to show me statistics about these board placements. So if I look at my game.log here, oops, that's not right. Look at my game.log here. I've got a list of all of the cards that get placed and how many times they get placed. So I can roughly track how common everything is. And this is after 5,000 iterations. And I also have the ability to track which cards were not placed. And so it looks like in that run, Warhorse was not placed. Now that might be because the board is too small. So in here, yeah. So this is the test function here. What it does is it just iterates 5,000 times, and it just generates 5,000 boards with these parameters. The reason the Warhorse was never chosen is because the board is too small to support the Warhorse, so it was never chosen. But this is how I discovered that the mace was never being chosen. regardless of the board size. And so I ended up fixing that. But that's why this kind of tooling is very useful. I think the next thing to do would be to convert this or add a property in here to show the percent of total occurrences. So I've got the absolute number of total occurrences. So like the cat appeared 219 times, and that is out of 22,000 cards placed. So that may actually be a relatively small percent. Like the scarecrow here is 39. But again, a lot of this is due to the board size being small as well. Obviously, if I make the board bigger, then cards that are bigger are going to be chosen more often. So I just increased the board dimensions by 1 in both directions. We should see things like the scarecrow get chosen a lot more as a result. It's time for game dev once again. Mouse has committed war crimes, probably. Hello, Jackie Daytona, welcome back. All right, so if I go to my game.log now. Yeah, so we can see that the total occurrences of Scarecrow went up. Now, there is a question here, which is that, do I want to make every card roughly equal to be chosen? Or is it okay for some cards not to be chosen? Like the Scarecrow is not chosen very often. So 82 out of 36,000 placed cards is a Scarecrow. So it might be good to add that data. But let's go ahead and add mouse. And I also need to make sure to write a note here. Oh, I already have it. I did redo the art, so that's good. Okay, all right. So I am going to modify this tool really quick. This might be helpful. For each var card ID and stats model cards placed, dot keys, card model is equal to stats model card placed card ID. Let's change this card model here. JSON property, public float. I'm just going to say occurrence percent, or maybe we'll call it rate. Occurrence rate. And then in here, we're going to say card model. That's not supposed to be oh, it is a float. Okay. Card model dot occurrence rate is equal to float card model total occurrences divided by stats model dot total cards placed. That should be true. And then we can run a test again. And we can see the relative percentages of everything. Mouse equals swarm related to food, unless no enemy swarms, I forget. No, enemies do have swarm, yeah. And that's kind of what I'm doing. So the pumpkin patch projects swarm to other alchemical cards, which are typically plants for the enemy faction. And so if the mouse is just thrown into the mix, it just will synergize with that kind of swarm. The mouse is just a 1x1 minion. It's not supposed to be super strong. Yeah, so we're looking at wine being a 0.5% occurrence rate. Some of these have like a 2% occurrence rate, 1% occurrence. I may make this more readable here. Public string occurrence rate readable. Card model dot occurrence rate readable. What is P2 here? times 100%. I don't know what P2 is. I'm going to trust the AI on that. Hello, Yeet. Welcome, welcome. Sid, welcome back. Wow, game development. Yes. Welcome, JKHE. The game is being developed. Okay. We're not going to really spend much time on this wave function collapse stuff. I just wanted to get some more stuff. Oh, I guess P already... I guess that already formats it as a percent. P4? I'm just guessing, I don't know. 2 places before the decimal, I'm just guessing. Yeah, it looks like P formats it as a percent with 2 decimal places by default. Hello, Dominic. Love your streams. What IDE do you use and which AI model for autocomplete? I don't know which AI model Copilot uses for the autocomplete. I don't even know if that's configurable. But it's just Copilot with VS Code. All right, yeah, that looks right. Oh, I still have the extra percent at the end. That's right. I'll just remove that. Okay. That is actually very useful. Anyway. Yeah. So we've got like a roughly 1% rate for everything. Some are higher, 2.5%, 2.2%, 11%. The mouse is on 11% of boards. Interesting. I mean, that kind of makes sense. Smaller cards are going to be more prevalent because they're the easiest cards to fit on the board. So I would expect that to be the case. The Jester, same deal. Like, the smaller a card is, the more likely it is to be placed, just because that's the nature of how the grid system works. But that's okay because the larger cards are generally more powerful anyway, so they should probably be placed less frequently. So there is this... This may not actually be a useful number. I mean, it is useful to see how many times it gets placed as a total number of cards placed, but what would probably be more useful is to track how many boards it was placed on. How many unique boards it was placed on. So maybe we'll add that piece of information. I just want to improve this logging so I have it. Not necessarily going to do any work, like I said, on the wave function collapse, but I do think it would be useful to fix this. So I'm just going to do this in a very naive way. I think I can do .values.distinct by x.card_definition_resource.id. So if we're placing multiple cards with the same ID on the board, we're just going to make that distinct. And then what I can do is I can look at my stats model here. Stats model card placed card.card_definition_resource.id. We're going to change this to public int. We'll just say, what do I want to call this? Like board count? Boards placed in, I guess, works. We're going to do public int board, or no, public float board, boards placed in rate. JSON property, boards placed in rate readable. Okay. So we're going to do var model is equal to that. No. Cards placed model dot boards placed in plus plus. Okay, card model dot boards placed in rate. This needs to be changed. So let's do const int test iterations. That should work. Alrighty. Let's see if that gives me the data that I need. Wave function collapse. Who summons me? Yeah. You're welcome, Dominic. Hello, Ariane. Welcome back. Always good to see you. Okay. So this might actually be a much more useful stat. So we can see here that a longbowman is placed on 16% of boards, fire arrow 18%, pitchfork 10%. So we're not really interested. I mean, it could be useful to determine how many. So out of the total number of cards placed, how many times an individual card type gets placed. But I think what's more interesting is what percentage of boards contains this card. So for instance, the Jester appears in over a quarter of all boards generated, which is actually quite a high rate because I have to also keep in mind that there's a delineation between the notoriety regions. So some cards cannot appear in certain boards that are generated for certain notoriety regions. For example, like I don't think that the lamb, for instance, cannot appear in any notoriety region after the first. So we're going to expect to see fewer boards containing that lamb if we are randomizing the notoriety region. And actually, I should probably make this a little bit nicer. This notoriety region should be... Would it work if I did imod 2? Is that right? Or do I need to do mod 3? I might need to do mod 3, I think. Previously, I was just randomly choosing a notoriety region, but I don't think that could potentially mess up the statistics. So we'll just cycle through the notoriety regions with the mod there. What am I looking for? Output 0, 1, 2, 0, 1, 2, 0, 1, 2. Yeah. So that should evenly distribute the notoriety regions among all the test cases. So that will even out the numbers. So my occurrence rates are not being affected by just randomly choosing the notoriety region. I should have a roughly equal number of notoriety regions. Yep. Yep. All right, game.log. So yeah, this is useful information now. So this is actually, this actually looks pretty decent. We've got a 1.4% of boards contains the Scarecrow, which might be a little bit low, but the Scarecrow is also a relatively large card. I'd be interested to see what the Warhorse's rate is. Yeah, the Warhorse has a very similar rate because it's also a large card. So that's probably okay. Oh, wait. Oh, no. This one has an 8% rate. So yeah, so this is already being useful. I might need to investigate why the Scarecrow is not being placed at a very high rate. Compared to other similarly large cards like the Warhorse. Could be just as simple as like the Warhorse counts as a minion, and so if it synergizes with other stuff that synergize with minions, then it just tends to get chosen more. But I would say that generally speaking, these rates are very reasonable. I think generally speaking, it's pretty well balanced. Prayer beads appear in 23% of boards. Boards placed in rate readable. So I think to make this even further useful, I would break it down by notoriety region. Because if I have a rate, let's see, like that prayer bead or like this sage here, this is placed in just over a fifth of all boards, but there are 3 different notoriety regions and the sage can appear in 2 of them. So however that math works out, if you remove all the region 3 notoriety boards, then this rate would go up by what? Is that 33%? I don't know. But anyway, mouse is a good example of this too. So that appears in over a third of boards. So that means it's going to, of the regions that it can appear in, it will be present in roughly 50% of boards, right? So anyway, that data is just going to be useful for tweaking the wave function collapse some more. So yeah, add more information. Jester is such a good design from what I remember. Yeah, Jester is one of my favorite cards for sure. Would you want to keep track on a per region basis? Yes, I would, yeah. Maybe Scarecrow is W2 and H3 and the Warhorse is W2 and H2. But I don't know, just a very wild guess. No, they have the same dimensions, but the Scarecrow, it doesn't occupy the full 3x2 dimension. Its bottom left and bottom right cells are empty. So it's like a T shape. Anyway, let's find something more interesting to work on though. I think can't really go wrong with adding some more content to these various systems that I've got here. I do need to scale up the resurrection costs after each use. Make shop not spawnable in certain radius of start. I may do that. That should be an easy one to do. What am I doing? So I need to go to the run map generator. So I'm just making sure that this is working properly. Okay, yeah. So we got place guaranteed event, update entropy for placed in node. Actually, hold on a second. Update entropy for placed node, start node. Valid start neighbor event types. Var nodes in radius. Run map get connections with depth. Let's do 4 or maybe 5. Let's do 5. So essentially what we're doing is when we place the start node, we're going to get all nodes within 5 traversals of the start node, and we're going to remove the shop as being a possibility. And the reason for that is, you know, the player's not going to have enough money to make use of a shop when the game first starts, so it's kind of a waste to make the shop appear close to the start node. So we remove that, and then it should work. I'm just going to do a quick test run to make sure it works. Yeah, I'm fairly confident that works. I just don't, I just want to test it to make sure it's not like crashing or anything. Okay. That was easy. All right, let's work on some new content now. So we need to do more alchemical reagents. We need to do more artifacts. We need to do more negative abilities. Apply holy to enemy. Let's do that. Let's do some more stuff. Configure negative abilities here. Self-bleed is equal to ability builder.bleed. Target self. Target self. Okay, that should work. Probably going to need a better way of modifying abilities to target self, but we'll just pass this Boolean, I guess. For now, we can fix that later. Oh, we could do like a heal enemy. Cool. Okay, so we can do heal enemy now. Self-bleed 1. Enemy heal. So we could put self-bleed, enemy heal. Into magnitude, bool target self. Okay, that should work. So now I've got a bunch more negative abilities to choose from for the alchemy. Let's go ahead and see what that does. I'm forgetting all the abilities that I have available to me, or all the cards, I mean. Alternatively, what about having the player start with some money? Do you have a reason they don't? That's a good idea. Should I do that? Maybe I could do that. Yeah, I don't see why not. I gotta fix this layout too. I just realized something though, that this is not going to work because I need to change these descriptions as well. Okay. Where's holy? Didn't I do holy? Oh, down here. It's all the way down here. All right, that should work. Let's go ahead and do that. Have you ever been so angry at game dev? Not really. Sometimes, maybe. How do you study? Project-based? I don't know what you mean, Blue Bulb, by studying. Can you explain what's going on with the quintuple curly braces? Yeah, so in C# format strings, the way that you encapsulate an expression is with the curly braces. But let's say that you want a literal curly brace in the string output. You have to escape it with another curly brace. So if you want a literal curly brace in the output string, you need to do double curly braces. But I want double curly braces in the literal string output. So I need to do 2 escapes. So I need to do 1 pair of curly braces for 1 escape and another pair of curly braces for another escape. So that is 4 curly braces on either side of the expression. Hopefully that makes sense. Okay, we already got 1 new one. That's good. I'm just going to see if this works. How do you study Godot project-based? Yeah, the way I learned Godot is just by doing my own projects. Yeah. Doing my own projects, getting through the issues, getting familiar with it. Yeah, so the problem is it's healing the enemy board. This is not doing any damage. That's funny. I might have to fix that as well. So I'm gonna have to change the combat log to note that. Yeah, I'm gonna need to fix this. So might just have to take a day here and just improve the combat log. Improvements to combat log. Negative alchemies should note that effect was applied to self or enemy on context. I'm blanking on the other improvements I wanted to make to the combat log, but we'll just start collecting that there. Okay, I think that this is good. We can always add more negative alchemy outputs. But at least there's a little bit of a larger library there now. I'm probably going to want to do more interesting negative alchemy outputs as well. Something that dramatically changes the card rather than just providing a minor debuff. Like, I think it would be interesting to do something like converts all fire damage to poison. Which would be a negative output in the sense that if you're trying to if you're trying to alchemize a card with that has fire, but then you get slapped with that negative alchemy output of converts fire to poison, that could either ruin your build, which would be bad, or it can unexpectedly open up a new build possibility for you. So I think those kinds of negative alchemy outputs would be really interesting. Things that are they're negative in the sense that they change the card in the way that you didn't want the card changed, but they are potentially still usable, right? So I'm going to do a couple of those. I think that would be really interesting. But I feel like doing some art, so we can either do some reagents, we could do some artifacts. I got to build out more artifacts here. Of course, we got to do more player cards. One thing that we're missing from the player side is we're missing cards that just apply shielding. It's really hard to get like a shield build going. So we can probably draw something for the player that can serve as a shield. A tombstone would be a good one for that, I think. Must have miscounted. That makes perfect sense. Good, yeah. Can enemies have legendaries? Yeah, the legendary cards are the bosses for the enemies. Armadillo. I have a jellyfish written down here. Jellyfish would be fun to draw, but I just don't know what its abilities would be. Probably poison. A goat grinder. We can do like an idol. Paralyzed poison. Oh yeah, paralyzed is a good one. Do I have any interesting abilities that I haven't yet implemented in the game here? I think this one is... No, that one's not actually done. This is already kind of done, so I'm going to delete that. This is done. That's also done. That's also done. Interesting. We don't yet have a player card that scales based on empty spaces. Hold on a second. I went to a museum the other day and I took a bunch of pictures of things that could potentially serve as inspiration. Let me just go back and look. Ooh, yeah. I forgot about this one. Nautilus cup. I'm not going to show the pictures on stream, but need a good card that fits shielding. A good card that fits shielding. A tombstone could work. Any ideas for a player card that could do shielding? Trebuchet. Yeah, I have a Trebuchet written down for the enemy faction. Why is this so hard? A golem. Oh yeah, maybe a golem would work. I'm thinking either an idol or a golem. Palladium ingot, player cards. Yeah, meat shield, dead peasants piled on a wheelbarrow. Oh, interesting. A corpse pile could be an interesting one. Does it fit with shielding, though? Ew, yeah. A familiar? Yeah, a familiar could work. Sacrificial minion. Catapults. I think I have catapults written down for the enemy faction. Yeah, I don't know. Why is this so hard? I have a marionette already, but that's a good idea. It's a good idea because it's already in the game. I don't know. Maybe a treant? They have siege weapons that are basically shields on wheels. Imagine the city using trebuchet against one cloaked boy. Yeah. A bone shield. Yeah, that could work. Yeah, maybe like a... Yeah, we make it, maybe do something like that. Or maybe like a skull tower or something. I'm just trying to think. Let me look at my card statistics tool here. Maybe we'll do a 1x2 card that is like a bone shield or a bone tower or something. Check out Bone Shield Valheim. Yeah, I'm aware of that. I was just playing Valheim the other day before Arc Raiders came out. I'm stuck in the okay, the game works and the idea is there. Now to fill it with content phase as well. It's so rough. Yeah, it's a lot of work. Observatory would be cool, but I guess you have Telescopic Relic though. Yeah, an observatory could be cool for sure. All right, let's just do this. Skull Tower, 1x2, create. Nope, that's wrong. Now I'm gonna have to practice drawing skulls again because I'm not very good at it. Could try that, I suppose. Just make it an absolute monstrosity. We could make this one look a little derpy just for fun. Maybe not. Maybe that's better. I don't know about this part here, though. That should work. You of all people say you can't draw skulls, must be an early April Fool's prank. Yeah. Does the skull have to be a real creature skull? No, it doesn't have to be. Make it a bull skull. Just remembered a pillar of skulls from Planescape Torment. Could some of them be cracked? The problem is I don't really have a whole lot of space here, so if I tried to draw a crack, it would just look like noise. I mean, I guess I could just do something like this, though. You know? That might work. Yeah, we could do a crack on the top one. Okay, now we got to figure out how to shade this. Okay. We're getting there. We are getting there. Okay. Lobotomy kit card. I have that already. Good suggestion. Now the question is, do I want to do anything else with this? Do I want to add in a little bit of this? Green, maybe? Maybe not. Maybe that's all right. Do you plan on making shorts? I've made a couple, but I don't, yeah, it takes a lot of work still. I'm constantly trying to split my time between making YouTube videos and doing work on the game, and it's too much to do. One on the bottom should have shorts on. What about the headless horseman? Could have a pumpkin as a head or no head. Yeah, I think that would be cool. Do I have that written down? I don't. Anyway, I think that's respectable. Skull Tower, boom. All right, so we're gonna add the ability for the Skull Tower. It's gonna be a shielding ability. So, but I'm gonna take a quick 3-minute break. And when I come back, we'll give this an ability, and then we'll figure out what else we want to make for the game. So give me just 3 minutes. I'll be right back, and we will continue on. All right, I'm back. Is the man headless or is the horse headless? It could be both. Plot twist, it's a centaur with no head. Yeah. Okay, so the bone tower. I think it would be interesting, or the skull tower rather. So we want this to apply shielding for sure. The question is, do we want to just apply raw shielding? Probably. We don't have any cards that have raw shielding, but I do want to do a card for the player that scales off of empty cells. I think that would be kind of interesting, but maybe we'll just do raw shielding for the player here. which makes that simple enough. Let's make it a ritual. Give it a slightly high cooldown, so maybe I will make it 8. That might be too much shielding, but we'll see. Oops, I forgot to configure it correctly. Gravedigger card, more empty space, more necrotic multiplier. Are we still allowed to have multipliers? No, we're not doing multipliers anymore, and I'm also not going to do any abilities that modify necrotic. But a Gravedigger, which scales off of empty cells, is a good idea. The video game won't develop itself, room won't clean itself either. What? What are you trying to say, Shirley? Welcome to the stream, by the way. Always good to see you. One second. Okay. Hello, Bernardo. Okay, apply 8 preserve. That should work. Let's go ahead and go into combat and just make sure. I don't know why I even test this. It's like basically impossible for this not to work. Cool. Very cool. All right. So, how does shield and preserve work? Shield, so preserve is just my name for shield in the game. It provides protection from damage and fire equal to the preserve amount. So it protects against fire damage and regular old damage. So yeah, that's what it does. It might still be a little bit too powerful. I'm gonna nerf this. I'm gonna bring the nerf hammer to this thing from 8 to 7. Literally broken. Okay. So we got the skull tower in there now. We need to add a flavored text to this. All right, what else should we do? Adding more content is definitely not a problem. Skeletower, yeah. This is actually in progress. Do I want to do a new artifact? I don't know. There's so many options. I don't know what to do. What is that? Calcium obelisk? Yeah, that's true. I kind of really want to draw a jellyfish. I'm going to see if I can draw a jellyfish. And I might make a fool of myself, but we're going to try. I might make it a weird shape as well. So a 2x2, I want to do it like an L shape, I think. 2x2. Do I want to do an L shape? Hold on a second. 2x2 with the top right missing would be... I already have 2 of those. 2x2 with the top left missing. I have 1 of those. Jellyfish with subtle skull at its head. 1 jelly, 1 card. I think I want to do this one. Let's see if we can get it to work. All right, here we go. Wish me luck. Oh, I don't really have good colors for a jellyfish. That's all right. We'll just get the basic shape down here first. I don't want to make these super thick. Something like that. It seems like it could work pretty well. It's like a monstrous jellyfish. Jellyfish. Sussy Jelly. Have you considered cards that reduce the number of stacks you have of different debuffs? It would be a good way to include more defense that is not strictly preserve or resistance of sorts. Yeah. Yeah, I can definitely do that. I think I have a couple of things like that written down, but I just haven't gotten there yet. Haven't implemented any of those yet. Nice tendrils, thank you. So now the question is, how are we going to make this look more jellyfish-like? Because it's got to be like somewhat translucent as well. Obviously, we're going to need like highlights and stuff. That kind of works. I wonder if I should do a brighter highlight here. That might work. Yeah, that should work. And then we can do something like this. It's going to be a little bit tricky, I think, but it's doable. It's doable. That works. I think this is going relatively well. Okay, that should do it. I don't know if I like those. That might work though. Douse versus... Oh, ignore that. Okay. Hello, MKRD. How are you feeling about this jellyfish? Does it look all right? Do we like it or no? Looks good to me. Positively jelly-like. Awesome. Okay. All right. If we're good with it then. Looks like a jellyfish I would never want to meet IRL. Good. Yeah. Good. Yeah, I think I'm pretty happy with it. Why not? Why not? Did you see the night I sent in Discord? If you just sent it, then no, I don't check Discord during the stream. Oh yeah, you posted yesterday, yeah. I saw it. Yeah, it looks nice. Very nice. How long do you spend code per day? Well, working on the game, usually like 4 to 6 hours a day. It's not all code though. It's, you know, art and whatnot. Minion, alchemical. Okay. What should the jellyfish do? So we got poison and paralysis. I think the Medusa head does paralysis already. I guess there's no harm in doing more paralysis, but... I mean, probably gonna want to do poison. Trying to think if there's an interesting ability I can make for it. If you're offered 100K for Alchemortis by Google, would you take it? Why would Google give me $100,000? Are you saying to publish it, or just to like say, hey, here's $100,000. We're gonna take Alchemortis now. Thank you. It's not yours anymore. Depends on it. I guess depends on what the hypothetical is, what the conditions are. Okay, so I'm thinking we could do something interesting with the jellyfish. I'm gonna apply damage a bunch of times. Probably want to do a poison. Maybe we could just do this. I love the idea of Google just buying every necromancy game for 100K. Well, if somebody came to me and said, hey, we're going to buy Alchemortis for $100,000, but it's not yours anymore. It's like we're buying the IP from you. I would say, no, I don't want to do that. Because I think if I play my cards right, I think Alchemortis could sell for more than that on Steam. So that's why. Boom, jellyfish. Deal 2 damage, apply 3 poison. Do we want to do some kind of paralysis or something? I don't want to like stack a card with all kinds of things, but upgrade card. Oh, that's wrong. Okay. Upgrade indicator does not work for L-shaped cards with top left cell missing. That's going to need to be fixed. Welcome back, Neozoid. I guess this probably is a problem for the rat too, I would imagine. Dang, that did a lot of damage. Wait, why did that board have 29 health? Oh, wow. That board should not have had 29 health. Do we have a slowing cooldown? It's like paralysis, but it's midway there. I mean, that's what paralysis basically is. I have cards that reset enemy cooldowns. But yeah. Cool. So the jellyfish is good to go, I think. Very nice, very nice, very nice. Actually, I wonder... Well, that's fine. What's the sprite size for Alchemortis? Well, my grid cells are 18 by 18. So my cards have to fit, you know, within cells. So here, this here, I believe, is 18 by 18 here. So that's 18 by 18, but then because I draw the cards or the sprites inside the cards, what I really have is I've got like a 12 by 12 area per cell. Now, obviously with these larger cards, I have more of an area here, but basically this is the drawable area there. So I don't really have a sprite size. It just kind of has to fit in the cards, you know what I mean? Was wondering about that. Thanks. You're welcome. You're welcome. All right, let's do a quick play test. See how the game is feeling with all these changes. I haven't really done a proper play test since the wave function collapse stuff. So let's turn off my debug stuff and let's do a play test. Let's see what happens. Turn cooldown reduced by 1. I gotta do more enchants as well. Let's do the booster. Get some more cards here. Maybe I should start the player off with some money. Double the preserve applied with health. Yeah, so let's just do this. We'll go on the fastest speed here so we can get through these combats. See how it feels. Let's do this combat as well. Oh. This board doesn't have damage. So I removed the requirement that all enemy boards have damage, and I think that's probably not good. So I probably need to just guarantee place a damage card on the board to start. Let's grab some health. Oh, there's a board size increase down there. Shoot, I shouldn't have gone this way. We'll take that movement penalty, it's fine. If there's one thing you wish you would have done differently with Alchemortis, what would it have been? Yeah, I mean, I don't think it's not a finished project, so all the problems that I find with Alchemortis, I'm actively fixing. So I don't think it's really a question of if I wish I would have done something different. I think all the stuff that I don't like about the game right now is stuff that I'm going to address. So yeah, I don't know. I don't really know if that question is answerable because it's not a finished project. Wow. Wow, I just got destroyed. All right, I guess it's time to alchemize. Let's do some alchemy here. We'll do a mosquito swarm, this. Let's try that together. Really? That just has swarm on it? Are you serious to me? Maybe if I put that there, is that gonna work? Do I have enough money to do... Oh no, I don't have the proper size. Okay, well let's see if this works. It did not work. Why is that board so hard? I'm getting destroyed already. I'm in trouble. I'm in trouble. Oh my gosh. I'm not gonna win this. Why is it so hard? The chickens are healing quite a bit. Wow. I just got destroyed. All right. Let's try it again. Makes sense, makes sense. Let's go this way. grab an artifact. Iron Gauntlet. Let's grab that. Goodness, these boards are hard. What is going on? That wave function collapse actually made the game harder, I think. It's alright. I can tweak those things. Okay, here we go. Gonna need some more money, though. Stein Barkeep Field Mouse. There's no way this should be that hard. 8 damage, deal 1 damage. Okay. Almost lost that one too, but that's alright. We'll grab the next health upgrade up here. What do I want to upgrade here? Probably just this. I'm going to switch over to that Iron Gauntlet soon, but I need to increase... the number of combats that I've won. Oh gosh. Oh my goodness, I'm getting wrecked. Oh, I won. That health upgrade actually ended up being pretty important there. Catstein Chicken, alright. Alright, now we got some money to do some alchemy, so I'll grab this booster, and then I'll grab the artifact as well, and then we can take a look at what we're doing. That frog needs to be redrawn. Is there... Oh, there's a board size increase all the way over there. Let's just grab this. Probably going to have to do some alchemy shenanigans here. Let's grab the Chalice of Blood. Alright, then we'll open up the enchant here. So I've got 21 blood. Swarm on this guy. Probably not going to be useful. Increase critical multiplier by 0.5x. Let's do that. Okay, now let's see if I can alchemize this down into a single minion card here. So I want to keep that guy. Let's do... This marionette is not going to be useful because I'm trying to make use of this Iron Gauntlet. I wonder if I just throw poison and fire. Let's throw another skeleton in there as well. All right, here we go. Legendary. Wow. Whew. That's what I'm talking about. So I put this here now, and it's got 4 additional damage from the Iron Gauntlet. Here we go. Here we go. I'll just put this on the board. I don't know. That's not going to do anything, but it's okay. I can't believe you missed saying Yao. Did you say it? Say it again. Oh. I think it's Yao. I don't know how to say it. I didn't say it, though. Why is chicken so OP? I don't know. A chicken should have a synergy card that turns into a dinosaur. That is interesting. A dinosaur would be an interesting card. Here we go. Now we're talking. Now we're talking. We got the build going. Death cap. All poison abilities of adjacent cards are guaranteed in alchemy outputs. Interesting. I need that board size increase. I should be able to get there if I go this way. Collect that money. Go up here. Increase critical chance by 10%. Oh, I can't modify legendary cards. Right. Son of a brisket. I don't need this many death orchids, I don't think. Let's see what happens. Apply 0 poison, copies of poison abilities of up to 1 adjacent card. Apply 2 poison to self. Wait a minute. I'm going to scale the poison damage off of myself with that negative ability. Apply 2 poison to self. That's going to trigger that first ability there. And it's copying the poison from Skeleton Warrior. Oh, no. That's dope. Okay. And we're going to increase the critical chance of this by 10%. That's going to be nasty. Although I don't really have that many options. Let's say 3. Shoot, I can't get to that booster there. Well, might as well just fight this. What's the chance of legendary? I think it's 3%. I really like that you can use alchemy whenever. It's so fun. Yeah, I'm glad you like it. That was a big change that I'm glad I made. Oh my gosh, this build is popping off. Okay, here we go. Now the real question is, am I going to be able to survive this? And the answer is no. Shoot. Dang it. I think the combats are still... I think the wave function collapse actually made the changes that I made, actually made the combats more difficult. So I might have to tweak the balancing. But that was really cool. So this was the first time I've played the game where I got a negative alchemy output that actually buffed this. And actually, I want to test that. So I've already lost the run, so I'm just going to do this. I'm going to turn this speed down. And then after this goes, I want to do... Okay, so it applied poison to me. Oh, did they not trigger? Oh, right. Oh, it's not quite correct. It doesn't scale off of the poison that it applies. So this ability here, it doesn't track poison executions of itself. So it needs to be an allied card that's applying negative poison. But the point still stands. Like if this negative alchemy ability was on the skeleton instead, then the skeleton would be buffing this phylactery even though you're applying the poison to yourself. So, okay, that makes sense. Dang, that was almost cool. But I forgot that this does not include... I mean, I don't see why I shouldn't include that. Yeah, I feel like that should work. Let me go to my phylactery here. I'm just going to get rid of that filter. Why not allow the phylactery to scale off of its own abilities? I think I was worried about it like hyperscaling, but I can also change how it scales. So instead of having it like every time an allied card applies poison, I could change it so that if an allied card applied poison since the last turn, poison applied grows by, 4 or whatever. But I think, yeah, we might as well just remove that filter. Because that would have been way more fun if it worked the way that I thought it was going to work. So we're just going to make it work the way that I thought it would work. And if it's too overpowered, then we'll find a different way to scale it so it's not... so it's not too overpowered. Game is looking so good with the new decor on the panels. Thank you, V. I appreciate that. Almost cool moment, yeah. That actually felt really bad, so I'm glad that I fixed that because even as the developer, I read that card and I thought, oh my gosh, this is going to scale, only to be hampered by the fact that it was not counting its own executions. So why do that? Why do that? Let's just remove that filter and let it scale off of its own abilities, and we'll handle whatever problems arise as a result later. but I think that's more intuitive and more fun, certainly. Especially with the negative alchemy outputs, like being able to, like I said, jujitsu those negative alchemy outputs. I think it's going to be really important to making the negative alchemy system more interesting, right? I think the game you're making right now is going to be a huge success. Thank you, Blue Bulb. I'm going to try. I think it has the potential to be a very standout game in the genre. I hope, anyway. But I have to nail down a lot of the design and make it really interesting and add tons of replayability and like get the balance perfect. So we're gonna get there, but it's gonna be a lot of effort still. Thank you, everyone, buddy. 1 second here. Let me do something. Sorry, I just gotta do this real quick. Okay. Well, I think that will be it for the stream today. Thank you everyone for watching. Thank you for being here. Alchemortis is available for wishlisting on Steam, so I'd appreciate if you could do that. You can also support me on Patreon. The current playtest of the game is live for Patreon members. So if you want to get access to the playtest right now, you could subscribe at one of these tiers. The top tier here also is a pre-purchase of Alchemortis, so I'll send you a Steam key when the game launches. And also your name will be included in the in-game Alchemortis credits. The publicly available playtest is going to be live tomorrow. So if you don't want to financially support, that's totally fine. You will be able to play the playtest. That will be out tomorrow. And make sure to join the Discord, especially if you play the playtest. Send me your feedback in the Alchemortis feedback channel. Would very much appreciate that. So yeah, I'll probably be launching the playtest tomorrow before stream. So I'll make an announcement in the Discord when the public playtest is live, and then you all can tell me what you think of the current version of the game. The current version, the playtest version, doesn't contain those negative alchemy changes that I've been working on. That's going to be in the next playtest, but I think you'll still find it fun. So anyway, thanks again everyone for watching. Thank you for being here, and thank you, of course, for your support. I will be back at it tomorrow at 10 a.m. Eastern, so I hope to see you there. Have a good day, and see you tomorrow.